Welcome to What Authors Can Learn, a series where we break down books into writing tips based on what that book did well, or what that book did not so well. This week we're looking at the newest release by James Islington, The Will of the Many. Link down below if you decide you want to pick up this book and support the channel. Like and subscribe for more writing content like this. Let's start. Quick description. The Will of the Many is a fantasy story told in a Roman-inspired setting, similar to how John Gwynne writes in a Norse-inspired setting, and it's filled with magic called will. The society of this empire is broken into classes, the lowest being the octavi, and the next highest being the septimi, and so on. Lower classes have to cede half of their strength to the class above them. 8 octavi give half of their strength to a septimus, 7 septimi give half of their collected strength to a sextus, and so on. And that power grows exponentially to people of a higher class, meaning that the highest class of people have the strength of 20,000 or 40,000 people. They're basically superheroes. Our story follows Viz, an orphan with a mysterious, hidden past who's seeking vengeance against the Empire. He's looped into multiple schemes by different parties and is tasked with being enrolled in the most prestigious academy. And he has to become the top performing student while also hunting down the secrets of the island the academy rests on. Quick review. The Will of the Many was a roller coaster ride. It was full of plot twists, both ones I saw coming and ones that completely blindsided me. The plot of this book was really tight and really well thought out. The setting is interesting, and the magic system here is complex enough that it could be used in some really interesting ways in the next book. I read this book following the Priory of the Orange Tree, which at some points felt like a slog that I was just trying to get through. This book, on the other hand, had me going out of my way to find more time to read it, and that is the highest praise I can give a book. I loved this book, and it was one of the best books that I've read in the past year. Here's my rating of the book using the SPICE method, where I capture my metrics on the setting, plot, investment, characters, and enjoyment every 50 pages. I find this to be a more objective way to rate a book than just saying blank out of 5 stars. Pause here to check out the metrics. I thought that this book was fantastic, and crunching the numbers, it gets a 9 out of 10. Now to the lesson. There are a great many things that The Will of the Many does, but none of them stand out more than the use of first-person perspective in a novel full of political conversations. This book is a testament to the fact that show don't tell is not the golden rule of writing. Let me explain. This book is filled with conversations shrouded in subtext and hidden motivations, especially because Viz has a hidden past. There are so many moments where we are in Viz's head as he decides, what does this person know and how can I use that? Or what information can I give them and what can I get in return? Let me give you some examples. Here is a scene where a powerful senator meets with Viz early in the morning, hidden in the dark of the dawn, and suggests that Viz should train for the academy with that senator's daughter. And all the while, he's casting doubt on the loyalty of Viz's new father, the curious Senator Okisker, I think. Viz sees an opportunity to escape the house he's been trapped in for months. I only asked because there have been rumors, which I have been asked to look into. And this was such a strange attack after all, so coincidental. It would be a terrible thing if you were somehow caught in the middle of something you had no part in. Truly terrible. Good to have an unbiased observer to confirm that you weren't involved, if it comes to that. I don't for a second believe that Advenius wants his daughter here as an unbiased observer, of course. This is a maneuver for position, an attempt to further his own agenda somehow. Probably something to do with whatever bad blood there is between him and Okisker. But I realize with a jolt, I can use that. If Aqua and I were to train together, I say, making it sound reluctant, I would prefer to get to know her first, away from all of this. The schedule's been hard. It's not the best setting for introductions. I'm sure something can be arranged. Books that have these elements of political intrigue often don't do them justice. There's only a handful of books that I've read that take this political nature of conversation and make them truly feel important and exciting. And I loved how Brent Weeks did it in his Lightbringer series, where these moments were often explored over a tense card game with exciting stakes involved. In fact, I see a lot of similarities between The Will of the Many and the Lightbringer series. If you liked one, you should definitely check out the other. Links below if you want to pick up these books to support the channel at no cost to you. Also, do you know of any books that perform this kind of political intrigue really well? It's kind of hard to find books like that, so if you know them, post them below. The Will of the Many is able to succeed because it adopts a tell, don't show mindset within this first-person perspective. If we had to experience all of these conversations and try to decipher that subtext ourselves as the readers, it would be exhausting. And we likely wouldn't get all of that information right. Islington uses first person to get in the head of Viz and bring the reader along with his analysis of that subtext and stakes. We don't have to try and parse this information out ourselves, but we're given the necessary information to know what's happening. And it works so well. Now, this is a point of contention among some other readers. I was a little disheartened to find that some booktubers found that this inside of Viz's head perspective was too close. And I personally found it refreshing. And I was constantly amazed that Islington was able to use this first person POV in such a fun way. Now, you may hear my analysis of this POV and think, I don't want to be told about the subtext of a political conversation. I want to decipher it myself. That's the fun of these kind of political intrigue books, your involvement in deciphering it. And that's fair. In that case, you might not like how The Will of the Many handles these talks. In my opinion, it leads to the reader being along for the ride in an exciting and entertaining book. And I could see that the reader involvement in deciphering these conversations being an attractive aspect of another book, but that's not the case here. You'll hear this time and time again on my channel. Show don't tell is a catchy rule for writing, and it sets a beginner writer out on the correct path, but it's not a hard and fast law. It's an answer to a common beginner problem of learning to write. But showing is way more direct, and that's a tool in your writing toolbox just the same as being descriptive is. I think that this method of showing the political subtext of conversation, it works really well here because Viz isn't always right in his analysis of what's happening. He's only operating within the knowledge that he currently has. And that's because we're in his head. That's the only knowledge that we have too. He gets things wrong. He thinks that he makes a good political move, and he's simply outplayed by others with more experience and more information at hand. The fact that Viz isn't always right makes decisions within these conversations even more exciting. In Viz's head, we understand why he does X or what information he's referencing when he wants Y. But sometimes we find out that he just simply didn't know enough when he made that decision and it ended badly for him. I can't see this being done without an author really knowing how to use first-person perspective well. And I can't see it being as impactful when being done in third person. So to me, The Will of the Many stands out as a great use of this perspective. And that's what authors can learn from Islington's newest book, The Will of the Many. Pick it up if you haven't already, and if you're an author wanting to learn from this masterclass of perspective, read it with the intention of analyzing that text and see all the tips and tricks that he uses. Subscribe, keep up with what authors can learn for more breakdowns like this, and as always, thank you for watching.